Defense headquarters faults UN figures on Borno massacre. Minister of Information says Nigeria denied access to weapons to combat terrorists. And Senate President leads federal government's delegation to Borno State. A warm welcome to News Now. At this time, I am Oyi Adekunle. The Defense Headquarters has faulted the report by the United Nations that 110 civilians were killed in the onslaught of farmers by Boko Haram fighters in the Jere local government area of Borno State on Saturday. The UN Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Edward Kalon, had said at least 110 persons died in the attack. But reacting to this statement, the Coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, said 43 corpses were retrieved from the incident scene in the Zambamari area of the northeastern state. Enenche said the troops counted the corpses together with the locals, adding that although the search for more remains of victims is still on, only 43 corpses were recovered by the army. And still on the Borno killings, the Presidency says the 43 farmers that were killed by Boko Haram fighters did not have military clearance to be on the rice farms when the attack happened. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said this in an interview with the BBC monitored in Lagos on Monday. Shehu said the government is sad that this tragic incident has happened, and it is important for Nigerians to know what it is like in the Lake Chad Basin area. He said although much of the areas has been liberated from Boko Haram, there are still a number of spaces that have not been cleared for the return of displaced villagers. So ideally, all of those places ought to pass the test of military clearances before farmers or settlers can resume activities on those fields. According to Shehu, the terrorists had planted landmines in several places in Borno State, and nobody ought to go to these places until the military has cleared such places. And in a similar development, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the reason Boko Haram activities have continued unabated in Nigeria is because the country has been denied access to acquire adequate weapons to fight terrorists. Mohammed said this in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, while answering questions from journalists on the recent massacre of 43 farmers in Borno State. He said for now, Nigeria remains at the mercy of terrorists because of the inability to acquire the necessary weapons needed to fight. The minister, who describes the killings of rice farmers as unfortunate, to decimate the terrorist group, the country needed more support from global partners. And for over a decade, the Boko Haram insurgency has been a major security challenge for Nigeria. 10 years and still counting, successive administrations have not been able to root out the terrorists from the Nigerian soil. But joining me now to give an expert review of this situation is security analyst Patrick Agbambu, who joins us via Skype from Abuja. Mr. Agbambu, thank you very much for joining us on News Now. Now, is it appearing to you that Nigeria cannot overrun these insurgents? Mr. Agbambu, if you can hear me, I said, is it appearing to you that Nigeria cannot overrun these insurgents?
No. I think to a large extent, Nigeria is on top of the situation. Nigeria is handling the issue of insurgency and terrorism quite well. Sadly, the terrorists still strike. They still target soft targets, and still show that they still have presence. But generally, Nigeria has done creditably well in the fight against terrorism and insurgency.
But what would you consider the missing link? What do you think our security agencies need to piece together? Is it intelligence, weapons, or morale of officers now, or what?
First, it's not the security agencies alone. The community, I believe that it's no longer a situation of the security agencies. The communities, they have a lot of role. They have role to play in this regard. The communities, these people relate with them. These people associate with them. These people pass through these communities to carry out these nefarious activities. How well are these community people passing the information to security agencies? Unless they give information to the security agencies, there's nothing the security agencies can do. And like your news report did say, the Minister of Information talked about the lack of some equipment, and which is true. The territories where these terrorists are still hibernating, the areas where they are now, the security agencies need a certain level of equipment that can help them to penetrate those areas. They need sufficient mine-resistant vehicles to be able to penetrate those areas. They need to demine those areas because we know that these terrorists have laid mines on the around their locations. So if you go to those areas without properly taking care of the routes, then you will be in danger. So they need to get the equipment that will help them and aid them to do the proper flushing out of these terrorists. Until that is done, we'll still have them come out once in a while to commit this kind of havoc.
Patrick Agbambu, we thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on News Now. Thank you for your time. That was Patrick Agbambu, security analyst, giving us a review or analysis of the security situation in the country. And in more security matters now, following the massacre of rice farmers in Borno State, a civil society organization, Coalition in Defense of Nigerian Democracy and Constitution, has demanded the sack of service chiefs as well as heads of Departments of State Security and Nigerian Police Force. Convener of the group, Ariyo Dari Atoye, in a statement called on the federal government to immediately put a stop to the ongoing de-radicalization program and halt freeing of the so-called repentant Boko Haram members. The group said it is important for Nigerians to stand as one at this time and be resolute in telling President Muhammadu Buhari to immediately sack the service chiefs, head of the DSS police, and overhaul the entire security architecture of the country. And the Defense Headquarters says the coronavirus pandemic is affecting the production and delivery of equipment, including unmanned aerial vehicles vital for military surveillance operations in the northeast part of the country. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, said this on Monday in a television interview monitored in Lagos. He also authorities are re-strategizing to combat terrorism in Borno and other northeast states, explaining what is to be done to avert another attack like the massacre of farmers in Borno State. And Enche said the military is looking at the composition of the force, the approach, tactics, and the force's operational moves. The DHQ official also said the military authorities are working on strengthening surveillance in the northeast area, but said some equipment have not been delivered by original engine manufacturers because of the coronavirus pandemic, which disrupted activities globally. A federal government delegation led by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan has paid a visit to Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, on a condolence visit over the killing of farmers over the weekend by terrorists. Members of the delegation include the Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, the National Security Advisor, Babagana Munguno, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. They were received on arrival by the Borno State Deputy Governor, Usman Gaddafu. The delegation visited the northeast state on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari to commiserate and identify with the family of the victims, the government, and the people of Borno State over the unfortunate loss of lives. And still on security, 2 suspects linked to the killing of at least 7 people in fresh attacks at Ugwambido village of Chema local government area in Kaduna State have been arrested. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, who confirmed the incident, said 4 residents were also injured in the attack, with 4 houses razed by the attackers, which in the attack, which occurred in the early hours of Sunday. Iron explained that the attack follows a reported killing of one header, Isiaka Seidu, of Ungwapa village on Saturday by unknown persons with deep knife cuts on his head. He added that the arrest of the two suspects linked to the counter-killing was conveyed to the government from the operational feedback by the military under Operation Safe Haven. And in other news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has rearranged a former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, and 6 others before an Abuja High Court for the alleged fraudulent 544 million naira grass-cutting contract. The defendants again on Monday pleaded not guilty to an amended 10-count charge the EFCC preferred against them. The ex-SGF was among other things alleged to have connived with other defendants and illegally diverted a contract of the Presidential Initiative for Northeast awarded for the removal of grasses in internally displaced persons camps to his own company. Their rearrangement on Monday followed the demise of the former trial judge in the matter, Justice Jude Okeke. Following the development, the case file was reassigned to Justice Agbaza for the trial to commence afresh. The judge thereafter adjourned the matter for restart until January 2022. And the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has denied feeding internally displaced persons with poor nutritious meal. The Minister, Sadiya Farouk, refuted the claim during its ministerial press briefing in Abuja on Monday, saying the ministry makes different grains available and also allow other bodies who make donations of their choice, which the ministry cannot restrict or limit.
As a government, we do not feed IDPs with Indomie. We do not. What we provide to IDPs through NEMA, you know, there are different categories of IDPs in this country. We have official and non-official IDPs, I'm sorry to say. For those official IDPs, we find them in the Northeast, especially in Borno State. That's why we have IDP camps. And these camps, we feed them on monthly basis. We feed them with rice, beans, maize, and other condiments. This is what we feed our IDPs with. But that is not to say that donors who come forward to support, we cannot tell them what to give us. If they give us IDPs to share, Indomie to share to IDPs, we do that. But as a government, we do not feed them with Indomie.
The minister also said funding remains a major challenge, but the ministry would continue putting IDPs and vulnerable citizens in the front burner of its agenda.
In as much as the ministry has done quite a lot in delivering on its mandate, facing numerous challenges such as funding and other issues. Nevertheless, it is my duty to make sure that these challenges do not impede our efforts to build a sustainable social protection apparatus that will protect our most vulnerable citizens and restore hope to the hopeless.
The Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace has condemned the continued destruction of lives and properties across the country on the basis of religious sentiments. Now, the forum describes the continued killings in the country as an affront on fundamental human rights, urging all religious leaders, policymakers, and other stakeholders to join forces in promoting conflict resolution and peaceful coexistence.
This is the time for political party chiefs and high-level stakeholders in government to come together at a bipartisan roundtable, and also, regardless of religious leanings, to frankly discuss how to get the country out of this doldrum that have become our bane. We need to stop playing the ostrich and show of indifference, because whether we accept it or not, the chickens have come home to roast.
Is anywhere safe in Nigeria today? Certainly no. Are people not leaving money at home for their family to pay ransom in case they are kidnapped? It's as serious as that. Is it not a wise decision to leave your will anytime you are traveling? Perchance that will be your last trip. Our security architecture presently, unless we are playing the ostrich, cannot in any way solve our problem.
If we have to resolve the conflicts in this country, we need political will. Those of you in this room cannot resolve the conflicts in this country. They are bigger than you. But you can promote peaceful coexistence because that is what you are expected to do, and that is what you are doing. And therefore, I agree with you that this is supposed to be a dialogue of those who are responsible for resolving the problems in this country, and a problem of those of you who are promoting peaceful coexistence.
Let's take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria signs agreement with Luxembourg firm on gold mining. Details after this break.
It's about the files your secretary presented to me regarding the company's salary. Yes, the figures don't seem to add up. I suspect there's some form of a
discrepancy.
Precisely, sir.
Keep the figure that way.
That's fraudulent, sir.
That's my money.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't do that, sir.
See how padded your teeth are. Are you telling me you cannot pad up figures?
Sir, padding is against best auditing practices, and it's a form of corruption.
It's true. Accountant.
You were testing. Thank you, sir.
That's it. Bagoli.
Yes, sir.
You are fired.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. Rather than watch corruption grow under my watch. Padding is a form of corruption and not in my country, sir.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Glad to have you back. Now here is a quick reminder of some of our top stories tonight. The Defense Headquarters has faulted a report by the United Nations that 110 civilians were killed by Boko Haram in Saturday's onslaught on farmers in the Jere local government area of Borno State. The coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, said 43 corpses were recovered from the incident scene in the Zabamari area of the northeastern state. The United Nations Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Edward Kalon, had said at least 110 persons died in the attack. And we also told you, Presidency has stated that the 43 farmers that were killed by Boko Haram on Saturday did not have military clearance to be on the rice farms when the attack happened. The president's spokesman, Garba Shehu, said terrorists had planted landmines in several places in Borno State, and nobody ought to go to these places until the military has cleared such places. The total coronavirus infections in Nigeria has risen to 67,412 after 82 new cases were recorded on Sunday. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control STALI, the latest figure is one of the lowest in recent months, it was recorded in 11 states, with Lagos leading with 48 cases, followed by Rivers and Kwara with 8 and 6 cases respectively. According to the NCDC update, 2 persons died in the last 24 hours to take the fatality toll to 1,173 after and of the total number of infected cases, 63,055 persons have recovered and have been discharged after treatment, while 3,184 infections are still active in the country. And Uganda is scheduled to start the trials of 3 antiviral drugs developed locally to cure COVID-19. President Yoweri Museveni, in a televised statement on Sunday, said the trial of the drugs developed by local scientists will start on December 15 and will run for 40 days. He said studies on COVID-19 patients treated from home show that the antiviral drugs kill the virus and also limit the damage the virus does on the body. As of Sunday, Uganda had registered a cumulative number of 20,145 COVID-19 cases, while 8,989 recoveries have been recorded since March 21st, when the country reported its first case. Well, we'll take another break here, and when we return, it will be time for business news. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Let's now join Folashade Ogunrinde, who's standing by for the latest developments in the world of business. Over to you now, Shade.
Well, thank you very much, Oyin. In an effort to boost the mining business in Nigeria, Messrs. La Mancha Incorporated, a leading Luxembourg-incorporated private gold development and mining company in Cairo, Egypt, has signed an expression of interest agreement with the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to invest in gold mining in Nigeria. The Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Chekuku Samson, stated with the signing of the expression of interest by La Mancha, efforts to attract big investors into the sector have started yielding the desired result. Now, he added that this would boost the diversification of the economy through the minerals and metals sector. He said Nigeria stands to benefit immensely from the partnership, noting that the collaboration would further cement Africa's brotherhood in a way that ensures development within the continent using its abundant gold resources. Now, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, says Nigeria will exit its recession in the first quarter of 2021. Speaking at the 55th Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN dinner in Lagos, the CBN governor says there is no cause to panic. He said prior to the recession, Nigeria witnessed 12 consecutive quarters of economic expansion after a similar experience in 2016. He added that there is conscious effort towards diversification of the economy away from crude oil.
GDP growth during the third quarter improved to 3.6% from 6.1% in October, during the second quarter, though the economy fell back into a recession. We, however, expect that Nigeria would emerge from the recession by the first quarter of 2021 due to high-frequency data that indicates continued improvements in the non-oil sector of our economy. What that tells us is that there is conscious effort towards diversifying the base of our economy away from just oil. Because we feel Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million people, should not be a country where, when there's an exogenous shock, where we do not have control on price and quantity, Nigeria should not be sneezing.
Now, present at the event was Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who assured stakeholders in the banking sector of security of lives and property in the state. He thereafter commended Emefiele for the economic interventions by the CBN, appreciating bankers in the state for the support provided to the Lagos State government.
I want to use this opportunity again to thank the Governor of the Central Bank leading that COVID and all of you individually and your various organizations for supporting the Lagos State government, especially during our very difficult times in this pandemic, in this COVID-19. All of you at one point or the other came through for us. I want to commend and thank you for that. You know, he had given to us about 11 different stability interventions that they've done, which has actually increased the GDP by about 3.5%. Thank you very much, CBN Governor. I think whilst I'm trying to get out of dinner, is to use this opportunity once again to thank the banking industry for the support you continue to give to us in Lagos State.
We'll take a pause here and return with Stock Market Review. And now to Stock Market Review. The bulls gained grounds today in the Nigerian equity market. Now we can see that the crucial market indicators witnessed a 0.45% gain. Now this impacted activities as about 18 trillion naira was recorded at the close of trading. Now despite the gains, market breadth closed negative as 29 equities recorded losses against 17 gainers. Now speaking of gainers, we can see that Airtel Africa and MTN Nigeria today gained with 53 naira gain, while MTN and ICO Insurance PLC both recorded 3 kobo gains. Now we can see that Union Bank Nigeria PLC also gained with 1 kobo. Now Guarantee Trust Bank, BUA and Unilever and Nigerian Flour Mills PLC were part of the top 4 losers. As you can see in this chart, Unilever and Nigerian PLC. Now let's take a look at the summary. Now the market summary, we can see that over 415 million volumes worth of shares exchanged hands in 5,267 deals. Now let's take a look at what went on at the global market today. We can see that FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei all were in the reds. Now of course FTSE lost with 0.48%. Dow Jones with 1.22% and Nikkei with 0.79%. Now, some analysts have said that in COVID-19 infections in the US despite a record-setting month for blue chip and small cap stocks. And that's it on Business News and Stock Market Review. It's over back to you now, Oyin.
Thank you very much for that update, Falasha Day. And now from stock, we head to entertainment reports on News Now.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. you and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app. If you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Well, in sports, Manchester United striker Edison Cavani could be hit with a possible 3-match ban for a celebratory post-game comment that appeared to be racist. The racially offensive term was in response to a comment from a supporter from the Uruguayan squad as the Uruguayan scored twice to help Manchester United with a 3-2 comeback win against Southampton on Sunday. English Football Association Disciplinary Committee has launched a probe into the matter with the later deleted Instagram message. The Football Association issued guidelines ahead of this season, clamping down on racist and discriminatory language and behavior, with offenses on social media carrying a minimum 3-game ban. Well, we'll now leave you with entertainment reports on News Now.
Big Brother Naija lockdown season may be over, but the ex-housemates are still snatching endorsements and appointments here and there. Also, the ultimate light skin, as he is popularly called, has just been made the brand ambassador for a football academy. In the post which he shared on his official Instagram page, the reality star who made a debut on Super Sport recently announced his role as a brand manager of Juventus Academy in Nigeria. Fans of the reality star, colleagues, and other celebrities sent in their congratulatory wishes as he starts the new journey. Femi Kuti, popular Nigerian singer, saxophonist, and son of the late Afrobeats legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti, has spoken on being nominated for Grammy Awards 5 times. In a post shared on Twitter, Femi said he is still hopeful of a win one day. He, however, added that if winning a Grammy was his objective as a musician, his late father might be disappointed. Further in the post, the musician explained his dedication to his craft by putting in about 5 to 6 hours practice daily while finding inner peace and godly attitudes. The 63rd Annual Grammy Awards is slated to hold on January 31st, 2021 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. In Nigeria, naming streets in people's honor is pretty symbolic, owing to factors such as their financial or political status, without ruling out their achievements and impacts on society. Falz is currently serving us some rich uncle of Lagos vibes. The Bob Daddy crooner today got his fans talking after he posted a picture showing a street has been named after him. Falz shared a photo of himself posing under the street sign with Falz Falana Lane boldly written, with the caption, "Wahala for who no get street name more." Well, Falz is right on this one. Na serious wahala.